Hello, Mayor Foster, can you hear us? Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. Please be advised that today's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded. Could I have a motion to? I'll call this meeting to order. Please be advised that today's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded.
Nailed it.
Could I have a motion to? I'll call this meeting to order. Please be advised that today's meeting is available for the public to attend. Okay, could I have a motion to the adoption of the agenda, please? Andrews and Penny, all in favor? Carried. Okay, new business. Public health orders, Mr. Barry.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Gerwing. Just wanted to get council together today to discuss what the plans look like for the rec center next week. As you're aware, the order specific to proof of vaccine requirements comes into effect on Monday, September 13th. So just want to have an opportunity to discuss what the plan looks like at the rec center, because the rec center is affected, and chat about that with council and answer any questions that council might have. The order itself has not been officially released in terms of the document hasn't been released. It's our understanding that we think it's going to get added to the gatherings and events order. But as of like minutes ago, when Aaron just checked the website, it's still not out. So we're going based on what we know, based on the information on the website, which in some cases daily changes. And then also some meetings that we've been having in Harvey's group with Harv and Stacy meeting with the BCRPA, and them being a member of that group. They've been asking lots of questions of the province to get clarification. So what the plan is right now is based on what we know and based on what we interpret is how we were going to proceed as of Monday. The caveat is things could change because they're fluid, right? So the intent is to have this discussion now, and we're going to update our platforms this afternoon, our communication platforms for the public, so they're aware what it looks like on Monday. But we'll be very clear too that things could change either from a clarification, interpretation perspective, and or the orders can change too. I mean, we've seen that. So an example of that is yesterday, if you looked at what was included as part of proof of vaccination in a facility or a rec facility, pools were included. As of last night, that's been removed, which is a good news story. That generally what's occurred from the beginning of the week to where we are today is a significant burden has been removed from the logistics at the rec center and the requirement or the need for people to show proof of vaccination at that facility. So we were nervous earlier this week when we thought we'd have to have either employees at the door or some other third party potentially at the door checking proof of vaccine. That's not the case today. So the rec center won't have that. So just a quick rundown of what it looks like is from what we understand today, and I'll use that word. It comes into effect as of Mondays. This Monday coming September 13th. The requirement to prove vaccination is intended, from the information we receive, for discretionary indoor organized events of more than 50 people. Plus, there's some specific other activities that they have outlined. Also, for example, gyms, fitness centers, adult sports. Yesterday, it was gyms, fitness centers, adult sports, and pools. So the good news is now to access the pool, you're not required to show proof of vaccination. Children and youth, 19 and older, sport and recreational activities look to be exempt. So based on, or are exempt, under 19, right? It is our understanding that the adults required for youth activities and sport will be exempt. So coaches, sport volunteers, and things of that nature. And we believe spectators. We're not 100% sure on that, but what we understand today is, well, I'll say there's been no specific direction that the spectators are required to show proof of vaccination. And so the parents of the kids who would go and watch the kids during a practice or something like that. If it was a tournament or something like that, that would be more of an event and possibly have more than 50 in the stands. So that might be a different story. And then, of course, indoor adult group sports and organized activities are of over 50 people are required to show proof of vaccination. So when you look at indoor sport groups or indoor adult groups, that would be like rec hockey leagues, things of that nature. The old timers or old wolves leagues. Sorry, Steve? For any number. Yeah, that's just any indoor adult group sport. It's not, there's no threshold when it comes to the amount. So the old wolves, the old timers, for example, they would be required to show proof of vaccination. Any of those third party organizations, we're going to leave it to that organization to manage themselves. I think that's the easiest approach, to be honest with you, that they'll follow. They're required to follow the health orders, and they'll manage it themselves to ensure that they meet the requirements. anything 50 or over, like for instance, the Fall Frolic, which I don't think is going ahead now, correct? But as an example, if it was a third party renting the facility and an event like that, we just, instead of us having to manage the requirement, it would be the third party the renter that would look after that and be responsible to ensure that they had met the public health orders. From our logistics perspective, it's, like I said, we're in a much better place than what we thought we were just a couple of days ago. And from what we understand, and that's how we plan to proceed unless giving further direction. So if there's an absence of direction, this is how we plan to proceed Monday. We expect the order to be out today. That's what's been communicated to us anyway, that the order should be out today. But again, as has been with the pandemic over the past year and a half, things change, and today runs right till 11:59 tonight. So
Can
in
I
terms
just
of
ask a question before you
Sure,
move
sure,
on?
yep.
Yeah. So are we going to wait for the order to come out before we send out our communique? Because what if we send out our communique, the order comes out and it doesn't mesh with what we've just sent out? So is there a benefit to sending it out today as opposed to tomorrow, knowing that there's a chance it could change?
No, there's not a benefit. I mean, we've kind of tossed that one around. I mean, just prior to the meeting here now, we've talked in some information that Stacy shared. Basically, it's like, let's hold off till probably 4 and see what we know, if we know anything more. So yeah, we're gonna take it honestly as we go. What we're hoping is at least what we thought we could do, and it's not necessary, we don't have to, and it's a good discussion that council could have, is we thought that minimally we thought we could possibly communicate what we know and what the plan currently is, with again that disclaimer that this could change, and just update it immediately, right? But I mean, if there's a desire to wait till that order comes out before we do any sort of communication, then we can do that too.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, just to facilitate the conversation, if you could just not go further on your report and council can just discuss this one aspect of it, if that
Sure,
would be
absolutely.
beneficial. Okay, so I'll start with Mayor Foster. Do you have anything that you want to say about the communique that was slated to go out this afternoon, but the possibility of waiting until the order actually does come out?
I think Mr. Barry has a sufficient grasp on what's going to happen here when the communique does come out. And I think it's better that we get it out sooner rather than later. I know a lot of those groups are looking and asking questions, and I think we should get some communication out to the groups anyway.
Okay, Councillor, thank you. Councillor Roper?
Yeah, I agree. The sooner the better. We can always update it if things change, which they inevitably will. But we need to brace people for these changes and get everyone on board. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Penny?
I would prefer to wait until we actually get the order. We could put some communication out there that we're waiting on the order and whatever, but there's no need to send out information that, as you said, it could be null and void as soon as the order comes out. So
Thank you. Councillor Souls?
You have to sit back and ask why the changes are happening, and they're happening, and notice that we find it is the easiest way forward for us to be able to ask our user groups to look after their own monitoring and so on. There's a very good reason for that. That's actually what the government is also doing with us and everyone else in the province. And so you'll see that the uptake on this as a practice is happening in some of the business sector. Part of the business sector in BC, part of them are participant and part of them are not willing to participate. I think that I've talked to several people in also in political circles, in larger scale circles than ours, in provincial and in federal, and there's a very, very strong likelihood that the minute that an order comes out, there will be a charter challenge on it that can't be won by the provincial government. And there's a bit of a chicken egg. I don't want to see us put out anything until we have the order that's in black and white.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Andrews?
Sorry, hit mute first. I honestly kind of on the fence about it. I see the merit in both sides of it, but I would hate to get geared up for something that's not gonna happen, but I'm sure it's gonna happen, so. I'm not the one, I'm gonna have to answer to the public and everything, just like everyone else will, but I'm not the one who's gotta gear up to implement it in my workplace like the municipality does, and if they need a little extra time, I think we should give it to them.
Okay, and my thought on it is we're only waiting 24 hours. So the communication that we're planning for this afternoon would then go out tomorrow, assuming that the order is released at 11:59 p.m. today. Whoever is tasked with it tomorrow at 8 a.m. or whatever could then release the communique. So does anybody want to make a motion one way or the other, or do we want to leave it unclear? Who does? Oh, Mayor Foster.
Acting Mayor Gerwing, one other thing is that at midnight tonight, it's going to be Friday, and we're going to be asking the staff to put something out on Saturday. I would rather it came out today, so I guess I will make the motion that we put something out today to the public.
I would second that motion. This is happening one way or the other, so we may as well get a jump on it.
Okay. The motion to release the communication today by Mayor Foster, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? I record 2 in favor. Motion fails. Does anybody else want to put forth any other motion? Here.
I'll make a motion that we wait until we get confirmation from the province on the order before we request staff to put out the notice to public.
Okay, I would second that. Oops, sorry. Councillor Souls second. All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. I wonder if I could just add that we release something release something today, that the order will be posted sometime today, that we're waiting, the order will be posted, and there'll be a communique following.
Yep.
Sorry, Jaylene, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, acting
Okay.
mayor, was that we'll put something, we'll still put some communication out specific to what's occurring, but instead of outlining what the plan looks like, we'll outline that we're still waiting for the order, and we'll
Yeah.
get communication out as soon as the order comes in. So that you
Excellent.
receive
And
information.
to the mayor's point about asking staff to release something on Saturday, is that problematic in any way, or can somebody
No,
do that?
that's fine. Yes, Saturdays and
Okay.
Sundays happen lots with us. So
Okay,
it's okay.
great. All right. Yes,
Mayor Foster and Councillor Roper, were you opposed to the motion to release something once the provincial health order?
Yes,
Okay, and recorded as opposed?
yes.
Okay.
okay, back to you, Mr. Barry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, acting mayor. So other than that, in terms of due process and logistics, the plan would be for any any activities that require that's an activity that's I guess hosted by the rec. I should say hosted, but it's responsibility of the rec center, or it's a rec center program. And if it's required, then some different options from a logistics perspective and how that can be managed. For instance, if there's consent given by a patron, we can put a note on their Perfect Mind file, for example, so that every time they come in, if it's a required, so if it's a squash courts, we know that you're required, for example, and you frequently use squash courts. Instead of having to show that every single time you come in, it can be tagged on the system. So then we know that they've verified their vaccination, and it just helps from a logistics perspective. So that's besides any questions or discussion council may have, that's for pretty much the update on mine.
Okay, great. Are there any questions? Anything that anybody would like to add? Counselor Penny.
I'll just add that I just want to thank staff again. This past year and a half has just been insane for you guys, and if you keep going diligently and keep up on the orders, I'm amazed that you're able to do it, and I thank you.
Thanks, Councilor Penny, and appreciate on behalf of staff, and I appreciate council support and also the community support. I mean, we do have obviously some that have some concerns around how certain things materialize, but generally good support from the community. And we continue to try to communicate what we can communicate and do the right thing, and do what we can to and provide feedback if from council and the community back to the province when given the opportunity also. So appreciate that. Mayor, if I may, there's one additional thing not specific to this, just for council's information. We are running into some staffing issues at the pool we've had some either people leaving for school generally, I think is the majority of the issues, and challenges, of course, with qualified lifeguards. So we will be looking at potentially reducing the pool schedule here for a bit in September, unfortunately. Just mainly because of staffing. Of course, as council's aware, we're out doing what we can, as much as we can, to either recruit staff and or train and go through the process of training lifeguards and qualify certified lifeguards. But unfortunately, we're at a situation right now. We'll probably have to go down to a 5-day schedule for the month of September, and look at what options we have after that in regards to trying to get and try to staff up that pool.
So what is that going to look like then? Or if we do go down to 5 days a week, will part of the 5 days that we're open, will it include the weekend? So not closing on the weekend. If we do have to close too, it would be during the week, or what's that going to look like?
So we're looking at availability of staff currently. So we're minimally at this point either a Tuesday to Saturday or a Sunday to Thursday. But we're looking at what the availability of staff is. And that comes down to the challenge in terms of what that availability of staff for scheduling purposes, unfortunately. So we're working to that right now. And this is literally hot off the press about an hour ago, where that question got asked in terms of what does that look like, but we're not 100% sure. If we had the ability from a Wednesday to Sunday perspective, that's an option we'll investigate too, but I don't know if we actually have the staffing complement from an availability perspective in terms of what the staff's availability is to do that. So we'll keep council informed on that one.
Oh, Mayor Foster.
Can you outline what's going to happen at the town offices for the public coming in to pay bills, etc.?
Specific to the orders, Mayor Foster?
Yes, specific to the orders and how they affect the public just coming into the town office.
No change based on what's currently happening. The current orders just require masks, Mayor Foster. So other than that, there'd be no requirement to show proof of vaccination to come into town hall.
Okay.
And one point that I wanted to make in our communication, if we can offer up for people that are trying to access their vaccine passports and kind of the rigmarole that's that you have to go through to get that all. If we could provide some sort of support for those that need it. I know the government it's not BC Health, what's it called? Service BC. They're phenomenal. They're really, really helpful. But if we can include that kind of information in our communication over and over again, but also the fact that we can help as well. So we spoke about that yesterday. So just wanted to get that on the books. And Councillor Andrews.
Our local library did some training on that to help people access that just yesterday.
Okay, and are they willing?
They're willing to help assist the public as well.
So we'll just connect with the library and we can have that as part of our communication. So the intent, and myself and Jay chatted yesterday after you and I chatted in Mayor, was we'll outline what services are out there. So of course the 1-800 number that's there for people to call the province if they wish. Of course, Service PC is an option. We'll connect back with the library and see if they're okay with us communicating that, and then we'll also add that they can contact us or come and see us, and we'll do what we can to assist too, like we always do.
And add, I see you, Mayor Foster, I'll be right there. Add the Literacy Society to that list if you want to check with them, because I believe that they have some capacity to help as well.
Perfect.
Okay, Mayor Foster?
I was going to suggest we call the Literacy Society and see if we can help them. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Okay. Did you cover everything, Mr. Barry?
I probably not, but I think so.
Okay.
I
All
hope
right.
so.
Any last minute comments, questions, concerns? Staff, I know I'm very concerned about the pool, so whatever we can do to keep it open, and if we do have to close it, that it not be on a weekend when people aren't working and, those kids are not in school, but whatever we can do. If you need something from council, I'm sure we're all of the same mind.
Actually, I mean, if it's something that it'd be good, because there's pros and cons of both. We hear noise on either side of that, regarding to the Tuesday to Saturday or Sunday to Thursday seems to be a balance, from our perspective, from the patrons that utilize the pool. But of course, like anything, some patrons that provide feedback don't necessarily represent the broader patrons who use the pool. So if council, and again, in terms of availability, I can't commit to suggest that we have the ability to do Wednesday to Thursday. But if we did, is council as a whole in favor of a Wednesday to Thursday and having a pool down Monday, Tuesday versus doing a balance between a Tuesday, Saturday, or Sunday to Thursday? Is there a flavor? I know your flavor is acting mayor, but just it'd be good to know, because then that's the direction that we would take as staff if we had the ability to do it.
Okay, I see Mayor Foster, Councillor Andrews, and Councillor Penny. So Mayor Foster?
I would just suggest that maybe we look at the statistics and see where the most usage of the pool is and try to navigate around that.
Sounds like you have to evacuate.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Andrews?
I was just gonna suggest looking at the stats and judging it that way.
Okay, and Councillor Penny, same thing. Okay, all right. Anything else? Okay. Hearing nothing, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Andrews, second by Councillor Penny. Okay, meeting is adjourned.